Good morning, children. Today we will see how to construct the histograms when only class marks are given. Okay. So first of all, observe this example to understand this. Here they have mentioned construct a histogram from the following distribution of total marks. Total marks obtained by 65 students. Of class 8. So here marks, those are mentioned midpoints. Midpoints are nothing but class marks. Okay, midpoints and number of students. (150) 8 students are getting. 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. 10, 25, 12, 7 and 3. Okay, this is the given information. For this, we need to prepare a histogram. So just observe, only one value is given, but to represent the histogram, to draw the histogram, compulsory we need exclusive class intervals. So when midpoints are given, first find out the class intervals as before we have done in exercise 7.2. Now observe, here they have mentioned class marks. Those are midpoints. 150, 160, 170, 180, 190 and 200. Okay, x values, all these are x values. Then number of students are nothing but frequency. Okay, 8, 10, 25, 12, 7, 3. For this, we will find out class intervals. Those are also marks only, but we will take boundaries, that's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, how we are finding the class intervals when mid values are given? We have to get the lower limit of the class. We have the formula x minus h by 2 and upper limit by x plus h by 2. Here h is nothing but difference between two consecutive class marks. So here difference between 160 and 150, 10. 170 to 160, 10. 180 to 170, 10. 200 to 190, 10 itself. So in each class, between each successive class marks, difference is 10 only. So h is equal to 160 minus 150, which is equal to 10. But we want h by 2, that is nothing but 10 by 2. 10 by 2 is nothing but 5. And we will get lower limit by x minus h by 2. So x for this class limit is 150. 150 minus 5, that is 145 is the lower limit, and 150 plus 5, 155. Okay, similarly 160 minus 5 is 155 and 160 plus 5 is 165. By using this formula, that's it. X value is 160, h by 2 is 5. So 160 minus 5 is 155, 160 plus 5 is 165. Then 170 minus 5, 165 will get. and 170 plus 5 will be equal to 175. This 175 will get here, and then we will get 185 as the upper limit, and 185 as the lower limit, and 195 as the upper limit. Then 195 as the lower limit, and 205 as the upper limit. These are the class intervals. So we got class intervals finally. Now for these class intervals are represented by using the frequency. Just go through with the construction now. So construction steps we will discuss. Just observe this, whatever they have mentioned, x-axis, y-axis. Always we have to mention class intervals on x-axis while we are constructing histograms. So here, class intervals. And on the y-axis, number of students, that is frequency, okay? Actually, that frequency given for number of students, and class interval is for marks. These are marks. Now, choose the appropriate scale. After drawing x and y axis and representing particular values, choose the appropriate scale. It is clear that on the x-axis compulsory will use one class interval. And coming to y-axis, here highest value is 25, least value is 3. So what will be the suitable value? Take on y-axis 1 centimeter equal to 5 students. So then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 25 only highest till that we will get. And coming to class marks, class intervals. Here starting class interval 145 to 155 means from 0, between 0 and 145, so many class intervals are there. So this is not starting first one. For that sake, I am using like this, means after so many values we are taking. So this is the continue, some half part of that picture we are mentioning, not consecutive parts. That's why here we are mentioning like this. Okay. So now, first point I am using 145 of first interval. Next 155, 165, 175, 185, 195, 205. That's all. Now 145 to 155. How many students are there? 8 students. That means between 5 and 10. So 6, 7, 8. Somewhere we'll get smaller line like this. 8. Next, 155 to 165, 10 students are there. So 10, exactly 10. Next, 165 to 175, 25 students are there. Here you'll get that. Okay. Then 175 to 185, 12 students are there. So 12, 10 more. It is between 10 and 15. So 12 I am taking here. Next, 185 to 195, 7 students were there. So more than 5, little bit 8, little bit down of 8. Next to 3, so less than 5, here we'll get like this. Just observe, when class marks are given, first we will find out the class intervals, and then same as first we will choose the appropriate scale. So scale on x-axis is equal to x-axis 1 centimeter equal to 1 class interval, and on y-axis 1 centimeter equal to 5 students we have taken now. 5 number of students. Okay, so like this we have drawn. Now construction steps also we have to write. First, with the given midpoints, construct the class intervals for particular class. Then draw the choose this suitable scale on x-axis and y-axis. That is the second point. And third point, draw the rectangles for the respective frequencies. That's it. That's the required histogram you will get. Here only one difference we are getting, because here directly from 0 we did not get the class intervals, so some values are missing. That's why we are keeping this gap to represent it. Okay. Okay, now first question. Why always we are taking class boundaries on the x-axis? Why? Because histograms are drawn for exclusive class intervals only. If we are getting inclusive class intervals, first we must convert them into exclusive by taking the boundaries. For exclusive class intervals, class limits and boundaries are same. That's why we have taken directly. Okay. So always we must take class boundaries only on the x-axis because histograms were be constructed for continuous series only. That means for only exclusive class intervals. Okay. Then next. Second question. Which value decides the width of each rectangle in the histogram? Width of this one. Which value is showing that? Gap between class interval. Otherwise, class size, length of the class size. Okay, length of the class size denotes width of the rectangle. Next, what does the sum of the heights of all rectangles represent? What does the sum of heights of all rectangles? Heights are nothing but this frequencies, yes or no? If you are adding all these values, you will get the total sum number of students for this question. This total frequency you will get by adding length of the rectangles. Okay, width of the rectangle denotes class size. Length of the rectangle denotes frequency. Sum of all lengths of the rectangles gives total frequency of that data. Okay. And always we have to take class boundaries on x-axis. Now coming to the next type of histogram. So till now we have studied how to construct the histogram for exclusive classes, and when inclusive classes are given, how we are constructing, and with varying widths, how we are constructing the histograms. And now for class marks also we have seen. Next, we will go through with another type of representation of data by using frequency polygon, graphical representation of data using frequency polygon. So with the example, we will see how to construct the frequency polygon and what is the use of frequency polygon. Okay. Construction of frequency polygon. And after that, frequency curve and Ogilvy curve, two are left. Okay, now just observe this. Here directly I am writing class intervals. This is the given data. Frequency and mid values. Sorry, frequency. So here class intervals is for marks and frequency is for number of students. So here class intervals are given 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. This one also continuous series, not discrete, means exclusive classes, not inclusive. Okay, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. Seven, 10, 14, 8, 6. And total, if you are adding this, we will get 45 students. Now, frequency polygon. See, before going to this, first we will construct the histogram. After that, we will construct the frequency polygon. So, for that, to draw the frequency polygon, compulsory we want mid values. That is nothing but class marks. Compulsory we need that. So, if mid values are mentioned, so directly we will draw the frequency polygon. If mid values are not given, first we will find out the mid values. How we will find mid values? Lower limit plus upper limit by 2. So 0, because exclusive class interval. So directly we will take 0 plus 5, 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is nothing but 2.5. And 5 plus 10, 15 by 2. 15 by 2 is nothing but 7.5. What is the class length? Observe 5 minus 0, 5. 10 minus 5, 5. 15 minus 10, 5. So class size is 5 only. Difference between mid values also you will get 5 itself. So 2.5 plus 5, 7.5. 7.5 plus 5, 12.5. 12 plus 5, 17.5. 17 plus 5, 22.5. You will get that value only. If you have any doubt, lower upper limit plus lower limit by 2. This is the formula for mid values. Go through with that, you will get the same values here. Actually, upper boundary and lower boundary by 2 because of inclusive class intervals. Same upper limit, lower class limits and boundaries both are equal. So directly we are finding mid values. Now coming to the construction of histogram first of all. So while we are constructing histograms, we are mentioning class intervals on the x-axis and that too given for marks. And on the y-axis, we'll mention frequency, number of students. Here highest value is 14 only. So for one box, I'll take 2 students. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Only 14 only highest value here, number of students. So here frequency. That is number of students. So we have chosen the scale and x-axis 0 to 5 directly given. So here no need to keep like this. Directly we'll mention 0 to 5 upper boundary 5 and next 10, 5 to 10, 15, 20, 20 to 25 class intervals we have. That's all. Now, so we have used the scale on x-axis 1 centimeter equal to 1 class interval. And on y-axis 1 centimeter equal to 2 students. Okay. Now, first class interval 0 to 5. Number of students were 7. So 7 means it is between 6 and 8. 6, 7, 8. So exactly middle smaller line we will get that 5, 0 to 5. So here 0 to 5 this class interval. And then 10 is for 5 to 10. So here we will get exactly. And then 14 for 10 to 15 students. 10 to 15 marks, 14 students are scoring, and 15 to 20, 8 students are scoring. 8 is here. Next, 20 to 25, 6 students were scored. That's it. All class intervals were covered. So we have drawn histogram for the data, but we need to construct frequency polygon. So polygon is nothing but straight lines, the figure which is having straight lines, which is made up of straight lines only. Yes, and it is a closed figure. Now observe here, mid value of a first class value is a 2.5. Here 2.5. Where we are getting 2.5. See, on the x-axis we have, these are the class limits only, class boundaries for, on the x-axis we have to take mid values, means 0 to 5, exactly fifth line, smaller one we will get in the graph paper. That smaller line where you are getting, here you have to mention that is 2.5. Okay. Next, 7.5, 5 to 10, exactly between 5 to 10, smaller line we will get, that is 7.5. Next, 12.5 is in between 10 to 15. So exactly between mid value, and its mid value is 17.5 and 22.5 we will get here. So first mark the midpoints of each class interval after drawing the histogram. Now join polygons by using the scale. Draw the straight lines. Okay, but so till here you will get that. If you are using the scale, and here you will get, and next here, next here, next these 2 points you will get, but it is incomplete curve. Okay, to make completely means incompletely is there. Preceding value also we have to take, preceding class interval midpoint also we must take on the x-axis by taking the frequency 0. From first class interval onwards we are getting the frequencies, but while we are constructing polygon, before the first class we need to take the midpoint of the preceding class by taking the frequency 0. Okay, means here it's before 0 to 5 will get minus 5 to 0, because each class length is 5. So 0 minus 5 is minus 5. Minus 5 to 0 is one of the class interval, and here its mid value will get here, that is minus 2.5. This one also we need to join here, A, B, C, D, E, F, and same thing succeeding class interval also we can take, that is 25 to 30. Its mid value also we will take, we will denote on x-axis with the frequency 0. Frequency 0 will be on y-axis. So y value 0 is on x-axis and x value 0 is on y-axis. Okay, and wherever they are meeting, this point is denoted by 0, 0, that is known as origin. Now observe this. G. So by joining AB straight line, BC one more straight line, CD one more straight line, DE is another straight line, and EF is another straight line, and FG is another straight line. So AG is the frequency polygon for the given data. So instead of direct histogram, we are using frequency polygon. And just remember here, whatever area we have missed here in for this rectangle. See, area is nothing but a place bounded by such closed figures. Now here bars are rectangles. So area of each bar represents area of complete data, yes or no? And whatever portion we are missing, while we are drawing the polygon, that area only will include here. This much space is left here. That space only will cover here also. Means area of frequency polygon and histograms are same for the same data. Okay. Next. First, we need to take the midpoints of each class interval. We need to denote for each bar. While if we are using histogram, we need to denote on each rectangle, midpoint of each rectangle. And same thing, we need to take preceding class interval midpoint as well as succeeding class interval midpoint on x-axis with the frequency 0. Okay, join all those points by using scale, then that is known as a frequency polygon. By using straight line, instead if without using the scale, directly with the hand if we are drawing, that is known as frequency curve. And what is the difference between histograms and these frequency polygons means? See, without this histogram also we can directly draw this frequency polygon by taking the points. How we will denote the points? First we are talking about A. So where it is denoted, just observe, x-axis value is 0, minus 2.5, and y-axis value is 0. So minus 2.5 comma 0 is the point, A point. And for B is on x-axis plus 2.5, midpoint 2.5, and its frequency on y-axis is 7, 2.5 comma 7 is the point B. And point C is 7.5 comma 10. X-axis, x coordinate, y coordinate. A point in the coordinate geometry we will use like this with the two axes, x-axis and y-axis. Value on x-axis is x coordinate, means x denotes the distance from y-axis to that point is x coordinate. Distance from x-axis is y coordinate. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, just observe 2.5 is there here. So this distance 2.5 is the distance from y-axis, that is x coordinate, and distance from distance from x-axis from here, this distance is known as y coordinate. Okay, so 7.5 comma 10 is point C, 7.5 comma 10, and distance from y-axis is 12.5 units here. Till this distance is 12.5, and this distance is 14. So 12.5 comma 14 is point D. 17.5 comma 8 is point E. Like that, till total points will get. So by taking the points without drawing the histogram, we can directly construct a frequency polygon. So no need to construct histogram. Only for better understanding purpose, we are using histogram. And to clear that, area of the histogram and area of the frequency polygon is same for the same data, to show that we have used histogram and frequency polygon in the same graph. Okay, and next, what is the difference between these two means? We can find out the value at a point by using the frequency polygon, but for entire class interval only we can choose the frequency or area in case of histograms. Okay, so just these rectangle denotes complete area or complete portion is complete class interval was mentioned by that rectangle in case of histograms. Just observe this point, particular point is represented by using frequency polygon. Okay. So here at particular point we can get the frequency as 7. Just observe 2.5. At this particular point we are getting the frequency 7. This is impossible in case of histograms. For entire class interval we will get the frequency. Okay. Now coming to the next frequency curve. Without using the histogram means directly we will use these two values and finding the points. After that we will draw the frequency polygon. So that one we will see in the exercise. Now go through with frequency curve. So we will see frequency polygon and frequency curve for this data without using the histogram. And here also we need to write the steps of construction. Frequency curve. Observe the data, class intervals, ages, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 class intervals are given. And number of patients. So it is frequency. Next. Okay. We will see later. Number of patients, how much they have mentioned? 0, 5, 9, 16, 11, 3 and 0. And okay. Now to construct a frequency curve or polygon, first we must take their mid values. Okay. So take the class marks first for each classes. Class marks how we are getting, and just observe all these are exclusive class intervals only. So no need to convert again. So 0 plus 10 by 2. 10 by 2 is 5. Just exactly between 0 and 10 is 5 only. So 10 to 20 will be 15. 30 by 2 will get. 20 plus 30, 50. 50 by 2 is 25. 70 by 2, 35. 40 plus 50, 90 by 2. 90 by 2 is 45. So here 55 and 65 will get. Just do add these two limits and divide with 2. 0 plus 10 by 2, 10 plus 20 by 2, 20 plus 30 by 2, like that. Okay, mid values we will find by adding upper limit, lower limit of that class and dividing with 2. By finding the average of upper limit and lower limit, we will get the mid values for particular class. Next. Without using the histograms, we are constructing the frequency curve or frequency polygon. So in that case, compulsory we need to write the points. Points, how we are writing? X coordinate, Y coordinate we must mention. Class marks are the mid values of class intervals. Class intervals only we are taking on the x-axis. So x coordinate is 5, 5 comma 0. Y coordinate is frequency. We will mention frequencies on y-axis. Okay. Class intervals on x-axis. Instead of class intervals, we are taking class marks. Those values we will take for x coordinate, and these values we will take frequency will take for y-axis. Now next point is 15 comma 5, 25 comma 9. Next 35 comma 16, 45 comma 11. Compulsory we must use this type of brackets only, and it is only having two coordinates x and y. Okay, so two coordinates we must mention, we must indicate in this way only. Next 55 comma 3, 65 comma 0, and x coordinate is 5 means the distance from y axis is 5 units. Means if I have like this x axis and y axis, x, y, distance from here means 0, 1, 2, 3, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 comma 0 means distance from y axis, from this axis, y axis, 5 units is there. Means here I have 5. X coordinate is 5 and y coordinate is 0. Y coordinate is 0 is this one only, means this point denotes 5 comma 0. That's it. 5 units from y axis, 0 units from x axis. 0 units means on the x axis itself. Always y coordinate is 0 on x axis, x coordinate 0 on y axis. Okay, remember this. Now we got points and we have the frequencies also. So these are, we will denote on the graph, sorry, by using the graph paper we must draw frequency polygon, we will draw first, after that frequency curve. 0, we will have to denote class intervals, that is 0 to 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Next, on the y-axis, we have to indicate the frequency. So here highest frequency is 16. 16 means which one will be the suitable value? So here most of the numbers are even. 16 is even number, so take and smaller number only. So for one box take 2 units. That means 2 patients. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6. 2 table. Okay. 2 4s are 8, 2 5s are 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 16 only highest value. So till that enough to take the values. This is y-axis and it is x-axis. And here we are mentioning number of patients. Here we are mentioning class marks, class intervals. Now, scale. Already we have taken scale. So scale on x-axis, 1 centimeter equal to 1 class interval. And on y-axis, 1 centimeter equal to 2 patients. That's it. Now, mark the midpoints of each class. Points are there here. Just mention those points. 5 comma 0. X coordinate is 5. So between 0 and 5, we'll get 0 and 10, we'll get 5. Smaller line. 5 comma 0. Here only. So let it be point A with the 5 comma 0. Okay. And after that 15 comma 5. 15 is here. Sorry, here class intervals we must take as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That's it. Now, 15 is the mid value of 10 and 20. So here we'll get 15, comma 5. 5 is in between. On the y-axis, we have to choose 5. So 4, here 5. Here I will get, means this line will get here and here 5. So here x coordinate is 15. 15 we have in between 10 and 20. Y coordinate is 5. Y coordinate is 5 between 4 and 5. So here, that means that point is here. Point B 15 comma 5. Okay, similarly 29, 25 comma 9 we have to mention. 25 is in between this one. So here onwards 25 comma 9. So it is here 9. Let it be point C. It is 25 comma 9. Similarly 35 comma 16. 35 is here. 16 is here. 35 comma 16 and let it be pointed D. Okay, and then 45 comma 11. So 11 is here. 45 is here. 45 comma 11. Next 55 comma 3. 55 comma 3. 3 is here. 55 comma 3. Next is 65 comma 0. On the y coordinate is 0 on x-axis. So if this point is on x-axis only, that is, let it be point FG. Now, to construct the frequency polygon, join all those points by using scale. If you are constructing frequency curve without using the scale, by using your hand, just join all those points. That's it. So all these no need to mention. For understanding purpose, I have shown, that's all. So where are those points? We have to mention. Now, if you are using point A here, if you are using a scale, then it will become polygon. If you are using just with your hand only freely, if you are joining all those points, then you will get frequency curve. So I am drawing frequency curve now. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, F, F, G. So area of frequency curve, frequency polygon, both are same process. When without using the histogram, we need to take the points. Same steps. If you are using scale, that is called as frequency polygon. Without using the scale, by using your hand, if you are joining all the points, that is comes under frequency curve. Okay. And here steps of construction, how we need to write. So compulsory they will give class intervals and frequency only. So after that, what we have doing, find the class marks of each class interval and respective points for that class interval, and choose the suitable scale. Mark the points. Mark the points. Join the points by using scale to get the frequency polygon. So join the points without using the scale to get the frequency curve. That's all. So next we will see graph of cumulative frequency. It is also called as Ogive curve only. Okay. That means we need to take the points. All these questions try on the graph paper only. Now, coming to the graph of cumulative frequency distribution. Or Ogive curve. Cumulative frequency is nothing but we have two types of frequencies, less than cumulative frequency, greater than cumulative frequency. If we are showing that one on the graph, it is known as cumulative frequency distribution curve or Ogive curve. Now, how to show on the graph paper, we will see. Here they are given the information, class intervals. So class intervals are days, representing days, and number of tenders. Okay, so class intervals are 0 to 4. Now first I am using less than cumulative frequency. 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20. So whatever representation we are showing, we are seeing, all those we have did for exclusive class intervals only. Here also exclusive class intervals. Now number of tenders, 2, 5 frequency of that class, 12, 10 and 3. Now first prepare the less than cumulative frequency. So in case of less than cumulative frequency, we must mention upper boundary of that class and cumulative frequency. Upper boundary and less than cumulative frequency. When we are talking about greater than cumulative frequency, we will take lower boundary of particular class and we will start from last class. Now we are finding less than cumulative frequency graph. For that we have to take LCF of first class 2 only. So upper boundary is mentioned first, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Why we are mentioning upper boundaries, we will see while we are constructing the graph. And remember, because these are exclusive classes, that's why we are taking same values. If inclusive classes are given, convert them into exclusive, then take the boundaries. Okay. Now cumulative frequency. So 2 is the first class interval and 2 plus 5, 7 will be the next class frequency, and 5 plus 12, 7 plus 12, 19. So here 5 plus 2 equal to 7 and 7 plus 12 equal to 19. 19 plus 10 equal to 29 and 29 plus 3 equal to 32. Now, so directly we can draw that. Otherwise, first if you want to mention points, mention the points. These boundaries always we are taking on the x-axis and frequencies on y-axis. So points are 4, 2, first point. 8, 7 is the second point. 12, 19 is third point. 16, 29, fourth point. 20, 32 is the fifth point. Now use the graph. So for these points we will see. Here highest value is 12 only. If you are taking 1 centimeter, 1 tender, no problem. But here space is not sufficient for me, so I am taking 2 tenders for each value. And we have to take class intervals on the x-axis, that is class boundaries we must mention. 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, enough. These are on x-axis, and on y-axis, number of tenders. So that is, I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 12. We have to take those values. Now 0 to 4. Sorry, what is the point we have? 4, 2. So 4 and 2. This one. 4, 2 is my first point, and 8, 7. 8, 7. Here I will get 12, 19. So like this we will get 0 to like this will get. So initial point we will start from 0, 0. Here onwards we have to take. So it will go in increasing order. When you are taking GCF, we will get descending order. So such type of questions we have in exercise also. So tomorrow clearly we will discuss in the exercise. Just remember, while we are taking cumulative frequencies, we need to take, if we are talking about less than cumulative frequency, upper boundary and less than cumulative frequency as points we have to take, and just we must construct the graph. When we are constructing LCF, we will get like ascending order, increasing curve we will get. And if you are taking GCF, decreasing curve we will get. Okay. And in case of GCF, lower boundary and GCF of that particular class we must consider. And tomorrow's class we will do the exercise problem. So everybody try to do in the graph paper only. Then only we'll get correct graphical representations.